Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is said to have many different connections, not just to the prequel trilogy, but also the original trilogy that will be used in a way in order to evolve the characters of Rey and Kylo Ren in this story. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one great thing about this film is that we do know that there are a lot of cameos to come in this movie that are actually affiliated with both the prequels, the originals, Star Wars Rebels, and whatever have you, in order to really bring things full circle for the Skywalker saga. And what I think's so great about that is that yes, it is going to be a lot of nostalgia, and it will have a lot of nostalgic moments in Episode 9, but to me, it's all a matter of how it's going to be written. You can't just throw in nostalgia for the sake of it. It has to have a lot of meaning and purpose to it all, which leads us to the character of Yoda. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very intriguing for this movie. Now, specifically, a description of both Rey and Kylo Ren standing next to each other in front of what's described to be the Force ghost of Luke Skywalker standing on a boulder that is said to be levitating. It's described to be a moment in which Luke reveals the netherworld of the Force to Rey and Kylo, where it said that this is when Kylo and Rey begin to hear the Force ghost voice of Yoda. It's described that Rey takes a couple of steps forward, where the Force ghost of Yoda appears standing on the levitating rock just next to Luke Skywalker, and delivers a line of dialogue to Rey, as Ben Solo is in the background in awe of what he is witnessing, where Luke Skywalker eventually vanishes and reappears near Kylo, delivering dialogue to him about the Force, where Rey is said to be near Yoda, where Yoda is still talking to Rey. It's described that Yoda's sequence is very brief and used in a way for J.J. Abrams to deliver his version of Yoda, since he originally was going to in The Force Awakens. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this. Now, in case you guys did not know and are just tuning in, the netherworld of the Force is going to be featured in some way, shape, or form in Episode 9, visually speaking. You know, the thought of exactly, where the Force ghosts really go once they vanish into thin air has been a big mystery up until Episode 9, where J.J. Abrams has a huge plan in order to introduce this to us, the audience, once we go ahead and see this movie come December of this year. So, the character of Yoda, in case you guys did not know, JJ originally wanted this character to be a major role in the Force-back vision in The Force Awakens that never made it to the final cut of the movie, where he just ended up using audio in the form of Yoda's voice, saying, it's energy twice. So, with that being said, the fact that Rian Johnson got a crack at, how to really, use the character of Yoda in The Last Jedi, now J.J. Abrams wants to do his version of Yoda in Star Wars Episode 9. After all, originally J.J. Abrams worked his very best in order to get Yoda to the big screen in The Force Awakens. Unfortunately, it did not turn out, and it didn't happen, and did not make the final cut of the movie. Even Frank Oz recorded dozens of dialogue, like dozens of lines of dialogue, for the character of Yoda for Episode 7 that never made it to the final cut, and was even said to appear as Yoda in that movie. So this particular sequence where Rey is taking a couple of steps forward and going toward Yoda, that's where things begin to get very intriguing, is because, well, we do know that Yoda, pretty much, referenced Rey in The Last Jedi. He says, oh, and the girl Rey, he tells that to Luke Skywalker. He knows who she is, and he knows exactly where she's going and what she's capable of. So Yoda knows of her, and Yoda also knows about Ben Solo, obviously. And we do know that Luke Skywalker shut himself off from the Force for years upon years. And it really does bring up the question as to exactly, what's the significance of Rey actually getting to meet Yoda on the big screen for the very first time, or at least for the audience. For all we know, Yoda appeared to Rey during the events of The Last Jedi before she left, of course, off of the planet of Ahch-To. Now, the reason being as to why I believe that this sounds like a very magical moment is because not only does it involve two Force ghosts, but it also involves two mortal characters, two characters like Rey and Kylo Ren from the mortal world that consist of both the dark and the light. Now, is this after the major lightsaber duel going up against the new villain, the Dark Acolyte, where perhaps now Ben Solo is a good man again? Again, guys, like I say, there's a lot of talk out there that, you know, with the whole entire concept of resurrection is going to be used in The Rise of Skywalker. You know, we do know that The Rise of Skywalker is going to feature a element of resurrection. It's just a matter of exactly who is it going to be used on. You know, is it going to be used on the character of Kylo Ren, Luke Skywalker, Emperor Palpatine? We're not quite sure. But resurrection will play a role in Episode 9 nonetheless. As far as the character of Yoda goes, I feel like that this is a great idea because J.J. Abrams never got a shot at actually using the character of Yoda in a Star Wars movie as he originally wanted to. And in The Last Jedi, you know, I will say that it was probably the most nostalgic moment. You know, aside from all the problems that I do have in the movie, Yoda just felt a little out of place as a character in certain pieces of that scene where he's talking to Luke. So I'm really hoping that J.J. Abrams is able to nail it when it comes to the character of Yoda and to really make his character feel 100% true to, of course, the original trilogy. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.